The Buffalo Bills had a big victory on Sunday versus the Miami Dolphins as they come away with the 48-20 victory. And I'd made a video about, like I do every week, what are the three things to look for in this game? Can the Bills shut down the Miami passing game, which they know they put up 70 points against those Broncos the week before, and that with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that they have a big offense to stop in that passing game. And I thought the Bills, for the most part, did. They struggled on the first few drives. The Dolphins went down and scored touchdowns the first couple of drives. But after that, they were able to make some adjustments and shut down that vaunted passing game, as I believe Hill was who was my biggest worry. Got 58 yards in the game, which, I'll take that each and every time we play the Dolphins. The second thing was I wanted to stop that running game because all of a sudden the Dolphins have a good running game. Morstead had a couple of fumbles during the game, so we love it when running backs for the other team are doing that. And A-Chain ended up with, I think, almost 100 yards rushing, and he was much more impressive in my opinion. I think that kid's going to be a good player in the NFL, which stinks because I don't want the Dolphins to have good players. But most of those yards, though, however, were scored when the when the Bills had a big lead and they were playing with not so many guys in the box, trying to make sure that they didn't give up a long pass when you have a lead, holding on to that lead. So I think they did good at shutting down the run as well this week. So those two check boxes. And the third one was, how are the injuries going to affect the game? As we see here, Jordan Poyer, he was injured before the game, and I was worried about how the safeties were going to come in and play against this team because Poyer and Hyde have played together for so long. But Taylor Rapp came in, played really well, and showed why he was a starting safety in this league and will probably be again. And I thought he had a really good game and helped the Bills come away with the victory. But injuries did play a big role in the game. First of all, big-time prayers for Trey White. I mean, that guy went through so much to rehab, with over a year of rehab, to come back and play for the Bills. And it just started over the last couple of games really playing like Trey White can play, which is a top corner in the NFL. And when he went down on the sidelines, I believe the Bills had just stopped the fourth down play, so everybody was screaming and going crazy, and then you look down on the field and you see Trey White. And then he chucks his helmet like 30 yards, and you know it's bad. I took this hat off and threw it. I mean, it felt immediately just awful for Trey White. It turns out it was an Achilles injury with no contact, which happens. I know a couple of guys on the team that I used to be part of came down with injuries, with knee injuries and with Achilles injuries that happened away from the ball with no contact. But we've got to look at that AstroTurf again. I can't stand that stuff. We've got to get grass fields. So Trey White, again, prayers for him. And I know that he is a strong man and that he will put in the rehab and be back again. With Trey out now, Kaiir Elam will have to come off the inactive list and will be playing some football. Dane Jackson comes in and he plays great. Got a little worried because at one point in the game, Benford got hurt and Johnson got hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh, all our DBs that were suddenly deep at that position already is starting to look scary. So, as I've said, though, I believe in Jackson and in Benford and in Elam. I think they're all three quality defensive backs. So I believe that those three guys are now going to step up and provide us great defensive back play. And then Poyer hopefully will be back soon as well and be able to play at the level that we know he can contribute to the team. However, the biggest injury I thought happened in the second quarter, and it was a Miami Dolphins injury. When Armstead went down with a leg injury, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills were able to really, really step up their defensive pass rush, and really put pressure on Tua. They got a couple of sacks, a couple of knockdown passes, and probably caused the interceptions as well, or had a role in it because they were putting pressure on Tua. So the Buffalo Bills defensive line, amazing play again. But I think Armstead going down really did affect the Miami Dolphins. So with that great win by the Bills, and now we will go on to play Jacksonville in London, which will be interesting watching our Bills play at 9:30 in the morning. That's odd, but hopefully they do well. Not really that fair that Jacksonville's already there and going to get used to the time zones and everything before they play us, as they already played Atlanta. But, that's a topic for another video. As far as autographs before the game, was able to get a few. Kevin Jarvis on our practice squad signed this for me. Offensive lineman. Appreciate that. Another guy on our practice squad, defensive lineman, Kendal Vickers. Kendal Vickers signed this for me. And then Dalton Kincaid came over. He signed my hat, too. I want to get all the receivers I can on my hat, so I've got several of them up there, as you can see. And he signed this picture from his college days at Utah. As you can see, his signature there with Dalton Kincaid. And then I wanted to get a couple of coaches this game. And these are coaches on our team that I really respect. After watching them in training camp and how they put in the work to make sure our team is doing fantastic. And our tight ends coach, Rob Boras, this guy works so hard during practice and in the pregame. And you just see the effort he puts in. Before every training camp practice, he was doing long walks around the field, and he did that again before this game. I think he's getting his mind right, also getting in a little exercise before the game. Love to watch him throw those tennis balls with the tight ends, making sure their hands are ready. And then during the game, he just shows passion for the game, and loves it when his tight ends produce. And I got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and he said to me that he really was glad to see me again, which I like that. I like the again part. Great to see you again. So good to have him remember me. And then same thing goes with our defensive line coach and our assistant defensive coach, Eric Washington. And this guy, he thinks of everything. I mean, during training camp, he has the guys, when they come running off over the field, he has other coaches go over and do drills with them while they're running to the new field. And I just think that that's amazing, taking care of every little second of practice and making sure the guys are ready. And you can tell that the guys really like Eric Washington. And I think the tight ends really like Rob Boras too. But you could tell the love for Eric Washington and how they respect him. As I watched every single defensive line practice before practice during training camp. And Eric Washington, the guys are asking him questions. He's doing the drills with them. I mean, what a great coach. Proud to have him be part of the team. So, with that, that's our autographs for this week. They'll be added to the wall, which will now take it to 62 players off of our roster, and coaches and general manager, and guys that are on the practice squad, and some guys that are on injured reserve. So we're up to 62 guys currently on the team. Behind us, also want to give some props to this game, as Ed Oliver did as well after the game, that we need to start giving some love for Daquan Jones right up here. This guy is playing hard. Last year, you could see over and over again on film how he was taking up double teams that were freeing other guys. Now, he's dominating and getting in the backfield as well, and really, really showing that he is a top-notch defensive tackle. And props to the guy next to him, Ed Oliver, for giving him props, making sure that he got props after the game. So, with that, I will say, go Bills! And remember, as always, God loves you!